Germany is located in Central Europe and is the seventh largest country in Europe. Its surrounding countries are Poland, Czech Republic, Austria, Switzerland, France, Luxembourg, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Denmark. Its terrain is very mountainous. It also contains flat, lowland terrain that is mostly used for farming. The longest river in Germany is called the Rhine River, and it is 820 miles long. It is also home to other rivers, including the Elbe, Ems, Danube, and more. The capital of Germany is Berlin, which is located in northern Germany. Its population is over 3 million, making it the largest and most populated city in Germany. In Germany, there are many man-made canals which join rivers and create thousands of miles of interconnecting inland waterways. These canals are used for commercial and local traffic. Germany's environment is facing many detrimental issues. The main reason for these issues is the growth of industrialization. Air pollution caused by coal-burning utilities, pollution in the Baltic Sea and rivers in eastern Germany, and acid rain that damages forests are only some of the few environmental problems Germany is facing. Recently in Hamburg, the city introduced a diesel ban to improve air quality. Some environmental campaigners and transport experts claim Hamburg's partial ban would in effect be manipulating tests to monitor diesel output of harmful nitrogen dioxide, which can get trapped in the lungs and cause premature death. Germany's population is around 82.7 million. Its GDP is 4.0 trillion, and their unemployment rate is 4.3%. The inflation rate in Germany is 0.4%. The most important industry in Germany is manufacturing, specifically automotive manufacturing. Just some of the famous car brands made in Germany include Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, and Porsche. The official language of Germany is German. Part of the Germanic language group also includes English, Dutch, and Yiddish. Standard German is taught in schools and used on the media and is a working language of the European Commission. All German students learn a foreign language, typically English or French. The majority of people in Germany are bilingual. The German writing system is based on the 26-letter Latin alphabet. It contains 5 accent marks or diacritic and 2 ligatures. Germans appreciate privacy, skill, attention to detail, and punctuality. They often appear very serious and intimidating, especially in business situations, but they are more lighthearted during their leisure time. Germans usually greet each other with a handshake. Regarding men and women, an arm's length of personal space is the rule in all social situations. When eating, the fork must always be in the left hand and the knife must always be in the right hand. German people typically drink large amounts of beer, but they do not approve of public drunkenness. German communication styles are quite direct and functionally purposed. People genuinely speak honestly, clearly, and arrive straight to the point. This communication style can cause Germans to interpret others' words literally, which can often make foreigners think that Germans are brash or blunt. Family is very important to most Germans. Most German households are small and the extended family typically lives separately. Despite the man being usually known as the traditional head of the family, the hierarchy has evolved. Women generally share the decision-making power in the household. However, once a child is born, a German mother is statistically more likely to stay home and forfeit her career than a German father. Both mothers and fathers are allowed up to 3 years of leave from work for the birth of a child. The state pays them an allowance for 2 years, and this encourages Germans to have more children, in part to combat the declining birth rate. Most German parents only have 1 or 2 children, but having no children is also very common. About 40% of marriages end in divorce. Germany was one of the first places to engage in research into folklore. The Brothers Grimm famously collected German folk tales from rural areas and published them as Grimm's Fairy Tales in 1822. Two of the most famous German folk tales are Cinderella and Hansel and Gretel. Germans typically have only a 6-week summer break before heading to their first day of school. The start of the school year is celebrated with a Salute, which is a giant paper cone filled with everything from school supplies and snacks to video games. Each child goes to school with his or her backpack and their own Salute. The school year starts mid-August and is divided into 2 semesters. Throughout these 2 semesters, there is a total of 12 weeks of vacation, including public holidays and a 2-week Christmas break. Kindergarten is optional, and most children tend to just go right to 1st grade. Homeschooling is not allowed unless a child is too sick to go to class. After the 4th grade, children are divided into different schools based on ability. Unlike in most American schools, German students spend the majority of their school day in their homeroom while the teachers move from class to class. School begins around 7:30 to 8:15 and can finish as early as noon. Most exams are essay-based, rather than multiple choice, and last no longer than 90 minutes. The qualifying test in Germany is called the Abitur. This is granted by university preparatory schools, and it is conferred on students who pass or fail exams at the end of their secondary education. Some tested subjects are chosen by the student, but 3 areas must be covered, including language, literature, and the arts, social sciences, and mathematics, natural sciences, and technology. My current event took place in Frankfurt, Germany on Friday. 2 lions, 2 tigers, a jaguar, and a bear were all reported missing from their enclosures in a zoo in western Germany. An all-hands search was put in place by the police, fire brigade, and a team of veterinarians. The drama grew by mid-morning when the bear was discovered outside of its enclosure in the zoo and shot dead. Then, there were said to be sightings of the big cats near the borders of Luxembourg and Belgium. Residents in surrounding areas were told to stay indoors until all of the animals were accounted for. In the end, a drone righted the remaining animals in a corner of their own enclosure, where they were hiding after a heavy overnight thunderstorm had caused severe flooding. The spokesman for the emergency response effort said that the animals had not been visible earlier because of the heavy storm damage. The bear, on the other hand, had gotten through a damaged fence and came face to face with an armed search party and was shot. This was claimed as a case of self-defense, adding that the bear had charged the group and a tranquilizer was not at hand. By the 1st millennium BCE, those who spoke the Germanic language, including the Franks, Anglo-Saxons, Vikings, Normans, etc., migrated into the area that is now Germany. It wasn't until Charlemagne that the Germans acquired political unity. After Charlemagne's death, his empire soon fell apart. A western and eastern realm developed. The eastern realm was called Deutschland, and the western frontier was pushed eastward for hundreds of years. In 843, the Treaty of Verdun divides the Holy Roman Empire into 3, with the eastern portion of corresponding to modern Germany. In 962, Otto the Great enlarges the kingdom and revives the title of Holy Roman Emperor. In 1792, the French Revolutionary Wars are fought, involving many German states with much fighting on German soil. In 1914, Germany encourages the Austrian attack on Serbia that starts World War I. Germany invades Belgium and France. In 1918, Germany is defeated and a revolution overthrows the monarchy. In 1919, under the terms of the Treaty of Versailles, Germany loses land to France, Denmark, and Poland. In 1933, Adolf Hitler, leader of the Nazi Party, becomes chancellor. In 1939, a German invasion of Poland starts World War II. Germany defeats France in 1940, attacks the Union of Soviet in 1941, and pursues the extermination of Jews. The first concentration camp was established in Germany in January 1933. German authorities established camps all over Germany. Between the years of 1933 and 1945, Nazi Germany and its allies established more than 40,000 camps and other incarceration sites. Historians estimate that between 1940 and 1945, the Nazis sent at least 1.3 million people to one of the most well-known concentration camps, Auschwitz. Out of the 1.3 million sent there, 1.1 million of these people died or were killed within the camp's borders.
The Germans grabbed my arm. I had to make a fist. They slammed the arm onto a table, and with a hypodermic needle, every little dot was injected until it became, in my case, the number B7648. In the middle of the night, they kicked down the door. They were yelling and screaming. My mom and dad were at a loss. They grabbed me to protect me, especially from the German shepherds, which were pretty much at my level. They took us out on the truck. I, of course, was scared. I was confused. I had no way of doing anything to escape. We were taken off, and we were greeted by people who had an emaciated, hollow look. They really moved like zombies. The food ration that you received was a single loaf of bread, a watery cabbage soup, intentionally non-nutritional. That was your total food for the week. As far as I was concerned, I had an escape mechanism from that level of starvation by stealing food as much as I could. The way I stole it was by putting holes in my pocket, let the seats fall down to my ankles where the pant leg had been tightened up. I was able to pass inspection by being patted down. One Nazi dragged my mom away and he said, "You belong over there on the other side." I didn't call mommy or anything like this. There was no time to do this. I realized very quickly to see my mother again is not ever going to happen. They shaved our hair. They pushed us through an archway and doused us with a painful liquid. We were washed for about 10 seconds, and I'm pushed against a large building with a huge smokestack and an enormous flame and a most obnoxious odor that we could not recognize. Those of us who could survive on a piece of bread and a bowl of soup simply hung in. Suicides into the electrified wires, finding maybe an excuse to be shot to end their life, was not unusual. On Friday, April 11, at 3:15, we hear a very unfamiliar noise, a mechanical noise. I see a tank coming up. Being familiar with German insignia, I didn't see that. What I saw instead, of all things, was a white Star of David. The commander wore a uniform of the United States Third Army, headed by General George Patton.